Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Good morning, class, and welcome back to the Nerd Academy podcast, your source for nerddom news and commentary. I am your host and superior webhead master, Jared Bachman-Stubbs, and joining me, as always, is your resident Green Lantern, Professor Travis Grossman. I say, what if Travis couldn't crack the can? That certainly would be a dark timeline.
What if cans screamed every time you opened them?
Jesus Christ.
Instead of the crack, it's just...
Before we get into our episode and before I introduce our guest, quick little announcement up top. This coming weekend is going to be DC Fandom.
Lord help us all.
God help us all. And like last year, Travis and I will be covering as much of fandom as we can. And to make that a little bit easier and doing it all in one fell swoop, let me get the date pulled up so I can be exact. Next Monday, the 18th, we will be recording that episode of the Nerd Academy Live. We're going to be doing another live stream. This time we won't be talking about Alex Jones, the fandom menace, white nationalism, all that stuff. It'll be a lot lighter. But somehow we'll be just as full of dread somehow. But yeah, so next week, October 18th, Monday night, 10:30 p.m., we will be going live and recording our fandom recap. Between fandom and the 18th, there probably will be a couple, trailer reactions. Might drop an individual video recapping a thing or two here and there. We'll see. We'll see what all it looks like. Now that I have this space, I'm going to try to do more trailer reaction type stuff. But yeah, all that said, live show again next week, Monday the 18th, 10:30 p.m. Hopefully you guys all join us. For some fandom recap goodness. But we are here to talk what if we were joined by Mitch from Comic Book Cast.
Yo, what if I was on time? It would
You
help.
were. You certainly were.
No
you
one
came
can
in
prove
during
you
the
weren't.
theme song. You came in. I shot Mitch a message just because I was like, oh man, like we're running a little late. I was like, Mitch, just hop in whenever. Who gives a shit? And then while I heard the boop, I was like, oh cool. Mitch came in during the theme music. I
had to sort out the avatar.
Oh, I don't blame you. I mean, you picked a great one this time. It's a great.
I was like, oh no, it's still what's his face from Loki. Just like whoops.
But we're happy to have you on, as always, my friend. Good here for some good Disney Plus Marvel TV talk.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Excellent. Well, we're going to jump right into the review here and start with overall general thoughts on this first season of What If, starting with you, Mitch.
It's incredibly fine. It's fine. There's some episodes better than others. There's some that didn't necessarily need to be there for how this whole season played out, but there was no this is bad. Like some wonky voice acting, but that's just the actors don't always make good voice actors and vice versa. But that kind of the ones that started off like that towards the end got a bit better, but
yeah.
Overall, it's fine. it's nothing to write home about. It's a decent start for a test bed, and yeah, hopefully next season and whatever else they decide to do with animation going forward, because there's going to be a ton of it now.
Oh, there's no way you don't. I mean, it's just such a vast well of opportunity, especially now that they're doing all this multiverse stuff. You like the animation can be it's like obviously What If is canon because multiverse.
Yeah.
But, canon to the mainline MCU. You can do stuff that isn't canon to the mainline MCU. You can do whatever the hell you want to in animation. And I think that's going to be the big takeaway here is that we've realized that I think the MCU's realized you can really play in this space.
Yeah. I just hope this is like the resurgence of Marvel and animation, and they don't rely on the MCU. They don't do what the comics did at the start, where it's like, well, we have to synergize. Like, no, you have a multiverse. You're setting all the animated stuff in that. Don't feel tied to what you've done before.
Pardon me, wrong pipe. But no, I agree with you completely. Absolutely. Travis, I don't want to disrupt the work of art you're putting on your whiteboard.
Almost there.
I'm muting myself because I just tried to drown myself with my water bottle.
Every show, you ask me my thoughts, and every show, all I can come up with was, yeah, it was good.
I know I do that every time, and I know it's your reaction every time, but I have to start somewhere.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm not saying you shouldn't ask me. I'm just saying that I can never come up with anything more. Do you see it on my wall?
That's a big boy.
That's a stink bug.
Yeah, I just see a dot, but here, wait, I'll full screen it.
Hey, stink bug, what'd you think of What If? Oh, you want to go drown in my toilet? Cool, let's do it.
Oh, you beat me to it. I was gonna make a joke and it's like, oh, he thought all like the woke SJW feminism bullshit was really bad.
Yeah,
That's what that stink bug thinks. That stink bug is on Fandom Menace payroll.
I'll be right back.
Okay, go do that. Overall thoughts. I think What If was neat. I think it was cool. I think there was a lot of cool stuff in here, a lot of cool ideas. This very much was one of those like, oh wow, I can't wait to see more of this. And now that we've done it once, I expect more to also be better.
Yeah.
Because I will be honest, there was some stuff in here that I was just like, whatever. Like a lot of people, my socks were not entirely knocked off by Captain Carter, the first Avenger, because it was just the first Avenger, but Peggy was the super soldier now. I'll probably say it a couple times in this episode. I think that Party Thor episode was awful. I really did not enjoy it until the fight with Captain Marvel, and I enjoyed it because Captain Marvel, not because of Party Thor.
But Viva Las Vegas.
Yeah, that was funny. We'll do some finale talk as well, because we did kind of skip a review of the finale because the way Fandom and Let There Be Carnage kind of fell on either end of this. We kind of had to make a decision as to whether or not we were going to delay Venom to talk about this or delay Fandom. And but no, the finale was great. I love the way the finale brought all of these characters together. I would love to see more of the Guardians of the Multiverse. I would have preferred some type of multiversal Avengers, because that's what they feel more like, honestly, as a team. But overall, I like it a lot. I think What If's existence is generally good for this franchise, and I look forward to seeing more of it. And scenarios that are a little bit weirder. Nando V Movies, one of my favorite, comic book movie YouTubers. He did a video. It was like 50 what if pitches. And they range from like sillier shit what if Howard the Duck killed Thanos? Where like during the big battle at the end of Endgame, Howard the Duck lets off a lucky shot, gets Thanos between the eyes, and then he said you frame it as like a "Where Are They Now" documentary. After Howard the Duck basically does what Travis and I think happened when JFK died.
A workplace accident.
It wasn't actually aiming for Thanos.
Does that imply Howard was working for Thanos?
I mean, it does. I was mostly just trying to make a joke about like Howard probably not actually aiming for Thanos, but just
the whole what if scenario now though changes because that also means that he's the one competent employee on the payroll of Thanos.
So who was he aiming at? If it's a misfire,
I would have said like he was just trying to like pick off one random outrider, and then like accidentally like he went from like aiming for low hanging fruit to taking out the whole tree, something that would be funny. I'm adding to what Nando's idea was, but regardless, I think more what if would be good generally. Since I already brought it up, and I think it might be fun to get some of our least favorites out of the way. Mitch, what was your least favorite what if?
Oh, it might be a controversial one, but it's the T'Challa Star-Lord tied with, I should say, the Captain Carter one.
Okay, that is a white hot take.
It's a spicy one, but
that take is on fire, and I would like for you to defend it
purely because I feel those two were the safest. They followed their movies that they were what ifing too closely. Like, yes, T'Challa Star-Lord diverted a bit more than Captain Carter did. Obviously, I don't follow it one for one, but it's like for how different things are in the Star-Lord one, they end up doing the same sort of crap as the Guardians one movie did. It's like, to me, that's not a what if, really. Like, what if it's supposed to change dramatically? And the only real difference is, we have this weird plant thing that never came back, which probably would have been really helpful towards the end. And it's like, we still go see the Collector for some random thing. We still do this. We still do that. And Captain Carter's obviously literally virtually one for one, minus the ending with what's his name, Shuma Gorath, which they never actually revealed to be Shuma Gorath in hindsight. But yeah, so they were just too safe overall for me.
Okay, I can see that. I see. For me, I think T'Challa Star-Lord still might be my favorite, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that like the universe reset that one does, where the way it's framed, it's happening in 2014. So like Guardians 2 is happening for what our timeline would be, and we already have like defected Thanos. Nebula is Bond girl Nebula. I will say, still not over Cha-Cha. I'm never want to hear it again. Made me uncomfy. So like, I don't know. I like that one the most because that was the one that felt the most like a changed universe. Like all the players have like swapped something. And it wasn't something as like absurd and dramatic as like zombie apocalypse, Yeah.
I mean, like again, like all the characters for something that they changed all the characters. Like Thanos is now a good guy, kind of. Maybe we're not entirely too sure. He still kind of acted a little bit mad. Quotes. Like,
he's the Team Vegeta.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Like to stick as close as it did to the first Guardians movie, it's just like you had. It's a missed opportunity for me. Like this, you had this completely different playing field, and then you did the same play, just slightly different. No.
I respect it. I can't say I entirely agree, but I respect it. Mitch. Bold of you to go for the one that I think most people were
Oh yeah,
super into.
yeah.
I like that.
People were definitely really high on that episode, and it's just like, it's fine, it's fine. Again, neither of them were bad. It's just they were the most disappointing to me.
Understandable. I know I felt that way with Captain Carter watching the first one. Travis, least favorite of the bunch.
I mean, probably Party Thor. Even though it was fun, like it was the most forgettable, I think, for me. And then also like I don't want to say Captain Carter was forgettable because it was first, so it's had the longest time to just kind of vanish from the back of my mind. But like I don't mind that they stuck close to the movies, personally. That doesn't bug me as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, Party Thor was just kind of like, I mean, we talked about it when the episode came out. It just felt really low stakes. Like, we knew they weren't going to nuke the Antarctic or whatever. I mean, if they did, that would have been crazy.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we think global warming's bad now.
Let's nuke the ice caps. Let's send all let's vaporize the polar bears.
Hill accidentally causes a climate catastrophe ending the world.
That was another one where it's like, this is a critique because, you know, like obviously SHIELD typically is not great as an organization anyway, but in almost all of these, SHIELD is just so cartoonishly A, incompetent, and B, just full of people who are low-key really bloodthirsty. And I don't mean like the Hydra people. Like Rumlow, I expect him to just be frothing at the mouth all the time, you know, because he's Hydra. But like Maria Hill, just like immediately like, oh, we're just going to nuke it all. Why? Because threat, I
She's
guess.
Maria Hill.
I know, but it feels like they cranked the Maria Hillometer up to 30.
I mean, true. Yeah.
Like she felt like when Maria Hill feels too kind of crazy for Maria Hill, it's like, no, yeah.
Yeah, I thought Party Thor was going to get really interesting with like a hidden what, because like some of the episodes have hidden what ifs in them. I thought the hidden what if was going to be what if Maria Hill was in charge of SHIELD and like something had happened to Fury. But nah, he just got like linebackered during the party. So, but yeah. Again, I didn't dislike Party Thor. I thought it was really fun. I enjoyed watching it. It just wasn't like as captivating as all the other ones.
Okay. I'm right there with you. Like I said, you know, I think that everything you said, I agree with. I was hoping that the Party Thor element was going to be born out of something a little bit more. I don't know. There's a part of me that was like expecting a la Endgame, how Thor used, you know, alcohol and just being generally, you know, what's the word? Seven deadly sins. You eat a lot. Gluttonous. No, that like Thor was just very gluttonous, as just like as a general coping mechanism as a person, and I don't know. I was kind of hoping that like we would see Party Thor be something a little bit deeper, and that like we was gonna, because like we know these stories are capable of that. We know these characters are capable of that. That I was expecting like, oh, he's partying like a lunatic because like something hurts inside and he wants to like cover it up. And I thought we were going to get something really deep and emotional. And it was just like, no, he didn't have Loki to bully him as a kid. And it was like, so Thor is a less interesting party animal than he was at the beginning of Thor, the first Thor. Okay. Cool, I guess, but it was super underwhelming. I thought there was going to be more to it than just like I said, Loki wasn't there to bully him enough. The fight with like I said, the fight with Captain Marvel's phenomenal. I think it's one of the best fights we got in all of What If. I like Party Thor's costume. I'm still confused about how he got that tattoo, but again, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna make it my entire personality that the tattoo doesn't make any sense and make 18 videos a day about it. But I need someone to explain to me how he got a tattoo. And that's
why wouldn't he be able to have one?
I mean, bullets bounce off of him.
Yeah, but don't Asgardians have tattoos anyway? Like Scourge.
Yeah, but I'm assuming there's like magic needle that can break Asgardian skin, and it looked like he just went into some like you get what you get tattoo shithole in Las Vegas.
I mean, maybe it's just like a transfer. It's like the old little kid ones. You just rub it on and rub it off.
That would be so funny if Jane got a permanent tattoo and Thor, just because logistically he can't, was like, now listen here, Jane. You're going to get a real one, and I'm going to get one of this fun little colorful one. And when I go back to Asgard, I will get a real one with some type of Uru needle tattoo bullshit. That would be great. I like that.
He does have it
Thank
for
you,
the
Mitch.
entire finale, so
he does.
True, yeah.
But it's also like
the consistency.
It's also like a day after, so like it would still be there. I don't know.
I love that. I love that. While Jane is just like, he just got that shit.
He has the washcloth and the piece of paper there. Just
the washcloth. Thor's temporary tattoo. That's so funny. Mitch, favorite episode of the season?
Favorite one. Probably the Yellow Jacket one. I think just because it made the most difference to the events afterwards. Because like everything in these episodes is everything's the same until it's not, and then one thing's slightly different, and then we're still on the same track, kind of, but not. Whereas the Yellow Jacket one, what does that world and events look like afterwards? Like if you haven't got the Avengers around, we see in the finale you've got Cap and Cap, the two Caps. But like,
yeah,
what does it look like? Like how does that battle in New York go down with just the two of them? Like who goes into the wormhole and sacrifices themselves, or quote sacrifices themselves? How do they do Age of Ultron if there is going to be an Ultron? No. How does Infinity?
Well, I think that's a great point. Like I think that's a universe that doesn't end up with an Ultron. I think that if Carol Danvers is made aware that, like, hey, Earth is not doing too hot because all of our potential heroes, the big ones, are kind of gone, you might need to hang out for a little bit. So,
what does the Kree look like?
Well, yeah. Oh, god damn. Well, that's true though, because like Loki does take over the world at that point. So at that point, like it's not. There isn't. I don't know if you even really do get like the Battle of New York as it was. I think it's more like some kind of a weird like Avengers insurgency.
Well, we saw a little bit of it at the end with the two Caps and the helicarrier, but that's it. Like, how does that go down? Like, instead of having 6 at the start, we've only got 3, and one of the 3 is not from that reality. So how does that carry on?
Yeah.
Does Hank Pym come back and go up someone's asshole? Like we don't know.
I wouldn't put it past this version of Hank Pym.
I just like the idea that this entire episode was based on that meme for Ant-Man going up Thanos. It's just like we kind of got to do it somehow. Like, let's just show everyone that Ant-Man can kill everyone.
I love that.
I love that. Be a 3-minute version. It would be like just like a 3-minute episode where the Watcher's just like, what if Scott Lang killed Thanos? And he just stops and looks at the camera and goes, he did it exactly how you thought he did. Moving on. Like, that's funny as hell. Travis, favorite one?
Oh God, all of them. I don't know. I loved the Killmonger Tony Stark one. It was everything I wanted it to be and more.
Comrade Eric.
I also the last two. Infinite Ultron, man, was really cool. And I'm biased because I think he looks a bit like a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
he looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh card I would play if I played Yu-Gi-Oh. So I was like, oh, this is exactly what I wanted. Trying to think if there were any others that like the Doctor Strange one was interesting. Like it was incredibly sad, but also I'm interested. I want to see Eldritch Horror Doctor Strange in live action at some point. I don't know that we will, but I'd like that.
To see Cumberbatch with tentacle arms, it's like, come on.
I want to see like Big Demon Doctor Strange, BDDS, if you will.
BDDS.
I was thinking
Yes.
of Dr. Hentai, but yeah, that works.
No.
No, Schumer McGrath, Rule 34. Thank you.
Not in this house.
Jesus Christ, Mitch.
Or Strange Hentai. Yeah, either one works.
But yeah, I just really liked the finale. I liked the fourth wall. I was kind of hoping in the finale, like the actual finale, it would be Ultron in the opening instead of the Watcher.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, I
think that
thought
would have
that,
been a
yeah.
cool touch.
Yeah.
But it was still.
Oh,
very
that takes me back to like season 1 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after the Winter Soldier happened, and like they were like, all right, S.H.I.E.L.D.'s falling apart, and it was like a couple episodes that were just like Agents of Hydra, and it was the Hydra logo at the beginning instead of the S.H.I.E.L.D. logo. And oh, that would have been really neat. While we're on it, we can just do finale talk here. Yeah, I got chills where they make it seem like Ultron's talking to you for a moment. And I was like, I don't like this. I don't want
I
to.
can't remember that bit.
Well, there's like he's like a you, and he's like talking like it's meant like he's like referring to the Watcher, but like the way the shot is kind of framed, it feels like a fourth wall break.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no. So I really like the finale. I love the concept of like, you know, as Travis and I have just been calling him Infinite Ultron. I like aesthetically, I like everything about the Vision's body wearing like a suit of Ultron armor. I think that just aesthetically is a really cool look.
I like the idea that he gets the stones and is like, oh, I can look really dope. Oh, I'm gonna look so cool. My old look was just the coolest. It's the only thing I don't like about this body. We're gonna fix that.
Yeah. I low key wish, and again, I understand there's more pressing story to get into. So, like, there's a shot clock here. You only have a limited amount of time. You can't blow a huge amount of time on Infinite or on just Ultron fighting Thanos. You know? But also, like, now there's going to be like 1,800 articles from like the most annoying websites about how actually it's really easy to defeat Thanos because in what if Ultron just him in half and see that he could have just done that, and like it's just going to be a lot of like annoying memes for the rest of eternity because of that one scene.
They're already
or he
there,
like,
yes.
huh?
They already exist.
I'll say Screen Rant and Comic Book are already on it.
like I wish there was more of a fight, or at the very least they just cut to like Ultron like finishing off Thanos, like standing on top of him and then like lobotomizing him with the Mind Stone beam. Something like that I would have preferred. Like just skip like show us that a fight happened. Like I'm not offended and like like they just killed Ultron off as a joke. You know, like I mean or Thanos rather. I mean, but like as much as I would have liked to have seen him fight, I just didn't. I just really thought that in half.
It's also odd though. They spend a lot of time across the entire series, like trying to push the strength of certain Avengers. Like in the Party Thor episode, and I don't say this as a like Captain Marvel, that like it feels.
Get ready, guys! Travis is about to join the Phantom Menace live on air
right now. You ready? Here we go. But like, the bit of Captain Marvel being like, I could nuke the planet if you want, but I'm not gonna. Right? There's that. The fact that no one can deal with unhinged zombie Scarlet Witch. And then we've seen this in the past couple of shows. Like they do it in WandaVision too, where they were like, she would have beaten Thanos on her own. And here with Vision, just like this is why we had to lobotomize Vision in the beginning of Infinity War, because then we just get this. Like, because that's why, because everyone was talking about, like I saw it before I watched the episode. That was like, well, Vision could have just done this. Why didn't he? He's like, well, if you remember, they murked him in the very beginning of the movie for that exact reason.
It's also different characters. Like, it's not Vision at that point; it's Ultron.
Oh, that's true.
I do also think Vision himself, like even knowing that Thanos is a monster, even if he did go to like instantaneously kill Thanos, I don't see the Vision bisecting him. Like I see him very much going for like a quick and painless, like through the brain, or like severing the arm that has the gauntlet on so you can take him alive. But not, oh hey, neat. But no, I that was, other than that was like my really my own complaint. I also think it's funny that like part of the Marvel universe truly now, or the MCU, is comic book ridiculous now in scope, where you have the big grand, you have a villain who's destroyed entire realities, but the multiverse is infinite, so he didn't really put a dent in anything. But also those are entire realities, like we're getting close to shit like Spider-Verse in the comics, where it's like, yes, the interdimensional family of vampires that eat only spider people. Like we're getting because in my opinion, that is probably the most ridiculous multiversal thing in the Marvel universe. And like in Marvel, anything is like the interdimensional family of vampires that only feast on spider people.
I'm good.
And the closer we, what?
I'm going to try and think of something that beats that.
I don't think you can. Like it's so specific. Like Moreland,
they have a niche cornered. I'll give them that.
They have such a niche corner of the multiverse. And like the closer we get to that level of like specific absurdity, the better the MCU will be for it. But yeah, no, I really like the finale. I like the Infinite Ultron Watcher fight a lot. I liked it a lot. That was a really cool fight. I like the Watcher armor. a lot.
I say the Watcher armor is a hell of a pull as well, because he's worn that maybe twice, I think.
Yeah,
in the comics, and it's just like, oh, okay, that thing exists.
Because I looked at it, I was like, I've definitely seen that before, but that's not like an iconic look.
No, I think
I
it
was
might
like,
have been like the 80s or something.
Yeah, but so like that fight was cool. I also love with the second episode, and we talked about this whenever you had me on for the CBC What If talk. Uatu and Strange's whole plot of everybody's here to play a role, and we know Killmonger's going to go for the stones. He is only here so that he can go for the stones and create a situation where it is, Infinite Ultron Zola and Killmonger fighting for the stones for all of eternity, and we can create this little snow globe pocket dimension. Like, I love shit like that. I love where part of the story is we know this person's gonna do the dumb thing, or like we're bringing you in. I think the comparison I made was almost like it feels like the kind of like a reverse version of the Harry Potter, like the way that Snape kind of talks about Dumbledore's plan with Harry. He's like, so you're just gonna raise him to go get him killed. Is your plan, that like fully knowing, like, if you are to like for this plan to work, you have to do X, and you don't know that yet. Where here it was like, oh, I'm not gonna let him die. It's like, here's our plan. He can't know. He won't know until it's too late, and even then he won't know. But yeah, I just thought that was really clever and really cool. Black Widow's happy ending made my heart happy.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that was the Yellow Jacket universe until a couple of days after.
Is it supposed to be the Yellow Jacket universe?
Well, yeah, because the only Avengers there are Captain America and Captain Marvel.
So yeah, you're right. I keep thinking Cap is one of the people who got assassinated. And
yeah, I kept thinking that as well, man. It's like he's at the end of the episode in the ice,
and they're fighting like Loki drones or whatever. Like they're fighting Loki specifically. I only realized when watching the episode because every other episode of What If is represented in the episode. So when she shows up, I'm like, oh, okay, this must be that one. And then you see only Steve and Carol.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, this checks out.
That's really cool. That's awesome. I like that. That's even better then. But yeah. Any other thoughts on the finale? Anybody?
They should have cut Gamora out.
Yeah, she fell out of place. Like really out of place.
If they knew that episode wasn't going to make it out in time, they should have cut Gamora out. Or kept in her episode.
I agree with you. I agree. I also think like what you were, because I've seen you bring up a lot on Twitter, like, in the grand scheme of things, the what if the Avengers all were killed by Hank Pym episode generally brought less to the table. I think that it would have been really cool if season 2 had that episode, because then, like, I think it would take longer and would be more satisfying for people to go, oh, that's the Earth Black Widow ended up on. For it to happen the season later, like, I feel like,
oh, so you're saying switch that one out with the Gamora episode?
Yeah. So Gamora and the Mad, and Mitch cleared this up for me a couple of days ago when I was on Comic Book Cast, but Gamora, the Mad Titan, and Tony Stark Goes to Sakaar are the same episode.
Yeah, because when the Watcher goes to get Gamora, he calls her Gamora survivor of Sakaar.
Yeah.
And obviously Tony's right there with the Sakaar like decals and paints on the side of his armor.
Which I love so much. And when we eventually get that one, that's gonna make me act up.
when we get it, it's going to be kind of hard to watch because we know exactly how it ends. Because the end, where they in the finale, where they're on the forge with the dying star and they're melting the Infinity Gauntlet. It's just like, oh, well, that's how that episode ends. Like they're doing something with that to stop that from happening, and there it is.
Yeah. Plus, she does like the whole very detailed explanation of like, we have these Infinity Crushers.
Yeah.
Like at first I was like, oh, it'll still be fun to watch, and I still think it will be. But there also is the fact that Gamora does give a play-by-play, of what she did in her universe.
How do you guys feel about
agree with you.
The going in halfway on the stones only working in a certain universe? Because they're supposed to only work.
That kind of bugged me a little bit.
That like it didn't work for the Soul Crusher, but just using them is fine, I guess.
It's like they don't work wherever the hell the TVA are, but they can work in different realities.
Yeah, the TVA one, I think you can make like a bullshit. Oh, there's some type of magic.
Like they're outside of time or whatever.
Yeah.
That I think you can bullshit around. I agree. And again, like, I think it's comic book stickler bullshit, but
I think it's easier to write in a reason they don't work than trying to like backtrack into a way that they do. Because like if they don't work to destroy each other, they shouldn't work at all. Right? And I'm not complaining. We gotta it'd be so funny if the whole thing was a red herring and their whole goal was just, okay, we're gonna pull them out of this universe, the stones won't work, and then we can just beat them up.
I like that version. Or just put him in just like
where like he keeps trying to use the stones, doesn't get why they're not working, and they're just kicking him while he's down.
So it's just like the that one TikTok meme was like, fight back, man, fight back. He's just getting crossed the hell up. Captain Carter's just like shield, jaw. Oh, that's funny. For me, in terms of favorite episode, like I said, I really like T'Challa Star-Lord. I have them all in front of me here. What if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark was one that, like, I think I said this in our review for the Killmonger Tony one, that it felt like a lot of these were being left open-ended so that they could be returned to later. And I wasn't expecting them to be returned to in What If, the finale, like in the finale of the season, and the way that, like, we won't get to see what that giant war between America and Wakanda looked like, and the terrible things Eric did. I thought we would.
Yeah, because that one just kind of ends.
It really kind of just ends. I think Zombies wasn't bad. I quite liked Zombies, surprisingly. I enjoyed it. I mean, part of it I really enjoyed because it really went, you know what? Spider-Man fans are stupid and insufferable. So we're going to look at the camera and go, Peter smiles because other people are sad, and he is sad, but smiling makes him not sad. He doesn't have to be a miserable incel to be Peter Parker. And then people still were angry because he was like, I smile because other people can't. And they were like, no, be miserable. And it's like, okay, whatever. Everything has to be Todd Phillips' Joker, I guess.
Can we get a Todd Phillips Joker movie, but starring Spider-Man?
That's just Spider-Man 3, isn't it?
Wait, what did you say?
It's just Spider-Man 3, isn't it?
Oh my god. Complete with the dancing scene?
Yeah.
I want a full, like, he imagines a scenario with Mary Jane, but he's never actually with Mary Jane. And it's revealed at the end of the movie that he's just been making this up in his head the whole time.
I hope that's in No Way Home.
No, all I can see is just like Tom Holland playing his version of Peter Parker, but how people who hate his version of Peter Parker think he is in Joker. And it's just like, hey, Mr. Murray, do you know what you get when you mix a guy who lives in a society that treats him like trash? Man, you ever seen in the Return of the Jedi? You know, like that version of the movie. That's what I want now. You get what you deserve, man.
I don't want it.
Mitch is like,
hot
no,
take.
keep it.
Don't want that.
Hot take. I don't need that. Okay,
I
whatever.
would definitely pass. Thank you very much.
I don't know. That sounds like gold. Waiting for the high top video on that one. Just
it fixed me.
Spider Joker broke me. Iron Joke Boy Jr. broke me. So before we bring this one home, Mitch, are there any what ifs you hope to see next season? I'm going to use the same one I said on CBC. But
you're going to have to repeat that because I can't remember what we said.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying I'm recycling mine.
Good. I kind of hope we get Squirrel Girl in the main MCU in the near future, just so they can make all the Squirrel Girl kills or beats every OP villain canon, just for the shits and gigs of it. I want to see that outrage that there is a reality somewhere that she actually does this in a mainstream cartoon for Marvel.
I like that. I would very much enjoy watching Squirrel Girl beat the dog shit out of Thanos. That would be a good time.
And like every hero as well.
Oh yeah.
Like what if the Avengers were bad?
And Squirrel Girl just took him to town.
Yeah, like she's the last one on the list for Fury. It's like, well, here we got Squirrel Girl.
Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, but it's Squirrel Girl.
Yes.
You know, I found my my trade paperback copy of Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, and part of me was like, "Oh, it's Spooky Month. I might reread that soon." Now that I brought it up, and now I'm thinking about it again. I remember.
Who knows? It might happen. No.
I remember getting freaked out reading it the first time. Travis, are there any what ifs you would like to see in season 2?
I don't know. I have a hard time coming up with stuff that I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's the one I want to see. And again, like part of the thing I like about a lot of these, like, are again they're hidden what ifs.
Yeah.
Well, like Killmonger one is what if Killmonger was ready to enact a plan 10 years in advance?
Yeah.
Right. Or
Killmonger was good to go in 2008.
Right. The Yellow Jacket one was what if Hope was a SHIELD agent? Like secretly.
Yeah.
You know? So I think when I'm trying to think of it like a what if scenario, I just can't think of one that's like
you want more what ifs with the secret what if baked in.
Yeah, I like those ones.
Just generally speaking.
We're like partway through the episode, they're like, oh, well, this is the thing that caused this what if scenario to happen. And you're like, oh, so it's because that's why I like the serial killer one so much. Like it was on the top half for me for sure, because the reveal of like, oh well, this is actually the what if, I just thought was really cool. Maybe that's why the Thor one didn't feel as home runish for me, because like it was fun. I like fun things, but there was no like, by the way, this is why Odin didn't take Loki or whatever. It was just like, oh yeah, he just was feeling nice.
I do wonder if anything's going to come of Hela from that universe.
Well, yeah, because where was she in Party Thor? That was like
Still
perfect time.
locked up, right? If Odin's
Yeah, I
still alive.
suppose. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. It's like, what if Thor was an only child? And by that we mean, what if Thor didn't grow up with his adoptive brother and still doesn't know about his genocidal maniac older sister?
Yeah. I will say I like seeing. No, you're fine. First of all, I forgot to mention it. I think it's in the Party Thor episode. The Smile More joke they threw in.
Yeah.
Died.
They made Thor the internet, really.
Absolutely died.
Yeah.
And I want more. Like, I've loved that the TV show has been poking fun at the people that are just like, Scarlet Witch isn't the strongest Avenger, and it's like she could have taken down Thanos. We know that. Like, in our writers' room, that is an agreed upon fact. And then like the Captain Marvel things, like Captain Brie Larson, the Captain Marvel could just the planet. Like, come on, guys. Like, we know you don't like them, but think. But yeah, I don't know.
I agree with you.
Maybe some stuff about the TV shows too. You know.
Oh yeah, I think they said they were going to dip more into Phase 4, and I'm very excited for that. I'm like,
You know, what if Wanda got therapy is going to be one of them. There's no way they don't do that.
Well, that's another one. Again, Nando V Movies. If you're not watching his stuff and you're somehow watching what we do, go watch his What If video. One of the ones he did was, what if Wanda grew up watching Westerns?
Ooh.
And it was like, he's like, I basically have like a small box of, we change WandaVision by Wanda watching different shows.
I love it.
And you just kind of start going like, okay, here's the series that this episode. Okay, now this is what you. Okay, now here's the new one. And
okay, so
I was like,
fast forward WandaVision like 30 years, like the entire MCU shifted over 30 years, and she watched Breaking Bad.
I had to like not take the sip because I almost putting the water down. Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
It's like Breaking Bad and Dexter are the two.
What?
Say that box cutter episode would be vastly different.
What is love if not meth persevering?
Meth is the fear killer.
Yeah, Dune review at the end of the month as well. That'll be a thing. Jesus Christ, y'all got me going on that one. For me, the what if I really want to see is what if the other half was snapped away.
That's one, yeah.
I think because it would be just such a bare knuckle bloody fight. Because that other half is coming to kill. Like, everybody like showed up at Thanos' doorstep like superheroes. You know, they were like, "Hey, what did you do with the stones? We're gonna bring you the justice." It's gonna be straight up street justice with the other half, where you just have Wanda and Bucky coming up to Thanos' door, like Bucky with the biggest goddamn gun any of the Guardians can give him. All of the Guardians are still alive. So, like, Star-Lord is coming in to put, like, 8 blaster holes in Thanos' face. Drax is going to try to wear the motherfucker's throat on his belt. You know, like, you just have a lot of people who generally already wanted to kill Thanos very badly. And now you killed a lot of their best friends. Plus, all the Guardians still want to avenge Wanda.
You mean Gamora?
Yeah. Gamora. That's what I meant. Plus, Strange is probably going to be okay with doing some horrible shit with magic at that point. Because the there's so many trillion versions where we win. Oh God, the other half went. So I think you get a version of these heroes who get very gnarly with how they handle the situation.
Well, that's the thing. Would they even get to that point? Because we know what Wanda was like after Endgame. And if she was alive at the point where Vision's dead in Infinity War, would anyone actually get to that point?
What do you mean?
Well, like, Endgame, she kind of accidentally takes over a small town. Like, Infinity War, could that have been a larger area?
I think, honestly,
could she have done
I
it
think
for an entire reality?
I think
having Thanos to go after might focus her in. She might she would hold it together until they got Thanos. Maybe that's what I would think. Is that she wouldn't quite go off the rails if they were we're gonna go do the thing now. Come with us, and you get to rip them apart yourself. My thing is, how do they get off planet?
I'd assume Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I'd say Strange.
Unless the whole thing with Vision kicks in, the whole Nexus being thing, and she just blinks around wherever she feels like it.
That's true. Also, the Guardians also still have the Milano on Titan.
Oh, right. Right.
That's
because they go on the Guardian ship in the first place. So, I'm still thinking, oh, yeah, they don't have the Guardians, but they now explicitly have the Guardians.
Yeah, they only don't have Rocket. And they have Spider-Man, yeah. Which, in the grand scheme of things, in terms of this team, he's not offering a whole lot.
No, but because then you logistically, we're talking about this now. Logistically, the Guardians wouldn't know to go back to Earth to get everybody else, so they would be stuck. But with Peter there, he would go, I have some friends, and assuming some of them are still left, we should take a trip back home first. And we have some demigods who would like to have a word with him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the thing. And then you can explore, do they get a chance to bring back the ones that they lost? Do they are they able to are they able to get to Thanos before Thanos uses the stones to destroy the stones? Do they come up with the same time heist plan to go back? Because, Scott Lang is gonna probably and that's where you get into okay, was Scott Lang, did he just win the coin toss, or was it because he was in the quantum realm that he didn't get snapped away? You can play with that. Does he maybe not come back and they figure out they can use the quantum realm to time travel and then go back and use the stones to bring all the people who died back? There's a lot of, and then and if they do that, who does the snap? Who can actually handle it? Because Hulk's dead.
Thor's dead.
Would Captain Marvel be there? I suppose she wouldn't be, would she?
No.
She'd be dead. I think, the other thing too, I don't think they'd have to do depending on how quickly they moved, I don't think they'd have to do a second snap. Because it takes Thanos 3 weeks to do another one. Right? He has to work himself back up to being able to do another one. So I think if they're moving fast enough and just, how do they know? Well, okay, if Strange can pinpoint them and then get them there immediately.
You could do some magic bullshit that he can find the time stone.
I was going to say, Strange can use the time stone without physically holding it. So wouldn't he be able to do that with the rest of them? So you wouldn't need to snap. So you could do it as many times as you'd like.
Probably still takes the same wear on his body though.
Yeah.
Possibly.
And then you lose but you also lose your Sorcerer Supreme though. Cause
but that's Strange fine because you got a Wanda.
Yeah. You have Wanda. Yeah. But someone with Strange's academic understanding of magic.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
And this is pre-Wanda being made aware of her abilities, her like the nature of her power, like the existence of the Darkhold. So like Wanda's at this point still very much like, so anyway, I started blasting, you know?
Also, we've never seen Strange use the time stone outside of the eye.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he hides it, doesn't he, on Titan?
He takes it out to hand it to Thanos, but he doesn't actually use it.
Yeah, he just keeps it hidden, like you said. Yeah. That would be such a good episode. That could be like a 2 or a 3-parter. You could do an entire season on that.
I was gonna say this is turning into what we talked about, or my suggestion, where you have like a season with a subtitle.
Yeah.
So like, what if Secret Empire? You could do what if the other half survived, and just have it be 9 or 10 episodes, or however long you can make it. As long as one episode has Fury, Coulson, and Hill together in the same episode. Because one weird note about this season, they're never together. They're never all together in the same episode. They're
That's
always
odd.
missing one.
That's funny.
I don't know why. I'd like to know the thinking behind it, but they're never together.
Yeah. That's probably something that didn't happen intentionally, and then they look at it and go, how did this happen? What decisions did we make at a production level that like scattered them? I feel like this is really hard to give a letter grade to. Like this is I don't know. I liked it. Gun to my head, I think I'd do like a B. I don't know if anybody else would agree with that rating. I don't know. But I don't know. I think the nature of What If makes it kind of difficult to slap something on there. But A-.
It was good.
All right, cool.
Whatever a passing grade is. It passed. It didn't fail. It passed.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Mitch does it like gym class, pass, fail.
Exactly, yeah.
Mitch, speaking of pass or fail, how can people pass the vibe check and find your socials and all the things that you do?
You can follow me on Twitter at Mitch692 or YouTube Comic Book Cast 2 or whatever it comes up with, and you'll find me there. You also find Jarod on, I think, Wednesday and Thursday. I think they're the days the Vision spoiler cast and the What If spoiler cast are going up.
Yep.
Unless YouTube decides to say no again to what I put up.
Well, they're not allowed to, because I would say that I had...
It's gonna be a big nut bust.
Recording the Visions and What If review with
I was not expecting that.
I had to deploy a big nut bust. It was right there. He was looking at me. Travis, where can the lovely people find you, my friend?
They can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Travis Political. Doing nothing. I've had quite the lovely time not really using Twitter recently. It's great. And
I'm jealous.
I just don't think they're open anymore. I'm like, oh, yeah, I should, unless I'm like looking for a specific piece of news, like if a trailer dropped or like an actor's name is popping up in my headlines, and I'm like, okay, I should look at Twitter really quick. Like I'll probably have it open for fandom, but
that's a smart idea. My Twitter right now is in the 5th repeat this year of MCU good, MCU bad. And it's the same tweets, just from different people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, come on, guys. Do this every 3 months. Get over it.
We do this every 3 months.
Every new property release, we have to go through why the MCU is both the worst thing to ever happen to media and the greatest thing to ever exist in humankind.
Yeah. Though this is the funniest one because it's over the Eternals. Like the Eternals are killing everything, and it makes me happy slightly inside.
It's just this weird, like almost pseudo-religious ideological battle between Kevin Feige and Martin Scorsese.
That's the real.
Well, if you put it that way, I'm siding with Kevin Feige. But
but what if Scorsese won? That's the episode I want.
What if Scorsese made the MCU?
It's just really
Robert De
offensive
Niro is
Italian
Iron Man.
stereotypes.
Robert De Niro is Iron Man.
What if the
Oh my
Avengers
God,
were
wait.
gangsters?
Oh my God! Wait, no. Joe Pesci is the Hulk. Hold on. Wait.
Nope. We're there. We did it.
You won't like me when I'm angry. Do I amuse you? He's so goddamn good. Oh man, that's marvelous. No pun intended. But you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DarkJedi2552, and you can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on our website www.thenerdacademypodcast.com, where, if you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon page. Give me $1. Speaking of our patrons, thank you to our $10 alumnus, Feige's Boomer Burner, Delta 9, Zach Knaus, the Waffle Wizard, Michael Armburst, and Alex Jones's Gayest Frog. Also, be sure to consider the $5 tier, where you can check out the KNR Versus series.
Sorry, that's tickled me. I'm going to mute myself.
The Versus series, Drengir Possessed Skier versus Savaggio Press is out now. November is going to be Cade Skywalker versus Ulit Keldroma. Heroic History 101 is going to be back this month. I will be blasting through all of Dark Knight's Metal this week. So be sure to subscribe for that as well. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, rate, review. Check out the student store link on our website to look at our TeePublic. Thank you all of you for tuning in and listening. Thank you, Mitch, for stopping by for yet another fun collaboration.
You are welcome. It's always a pleasure.
Excellent. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and class dismissed.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar.